I smoke and I drink too much. Sit on my ones and think too much. Bit off key, I don't sing too much. Big head, they call me the king too much. They're telling me that I do too much. Don't come out, I'm in studs too much. Other than tunes, I don't do too much. Apart from college, on Zoom too much. It feels like this place is haunted, but these evil spirits haven't even reached the morgue yet. It feels like this place is haunted. Now don't darken my doorstep.
Good evening, everyone. So we're back with Sleep's cousin. Obviously, I interviewed Sleep's cousin and Lola Lies, well, about 2 weeks ago now. And if you haven't seen my post already on Instagram, if you haven't been catching up with what's been going on, I stupidly deleted their videos, deleted their whole interview. It'd gone. Spent the whole day blaring about it, but we move and we're here now and we're gonna reshoot. So
technical difficulties.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, you know, you did say about just popping that down, but
yeah, there's been bare stuff I've got wrong over the years on like release for like certain songs or whatever, and then I've completely scrapped it and had to like change how I've approached it, and then just been like, yeah, it was technical difficulties. It wasn't me fucking up. It was.
I was definitely just gonna put like technical difficulties, but I just thought, do you know what? I'm just gonna fucking own it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna do it, like, whatever. Some people were like, how on earth did you do that? And it's just like, honestly,
just
like,
tell them, innit?
this is how. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna try not let it happen again. But anyway, so obviously when we recorded that interview, your new track that had come out was Too Much.
Yes.
And then that evening, I believe, where we did the interview, it was Bulletproof Raincoat. So if we just like talk about those two, because obviously they're sort of the most recent ones that you've got out at the moment that I believe has been doing well. So Too Much, like how's that been doing for you? How's your feedback been getting on?
Yeah, people seem to be really enjoying that one, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like people from like further away, like outside of the usual group of people who either hit me up with like, oh, I love the new tune, or you know, whatever. It's not sort of my regular crowd, I suppose. It's like I've been getting either like message requests or like story mentions on Insta or whatever from like people banging the song who I might not, you know, I don't know personally and are from far away somewhere, which is pretty cool. Especially as it's more of a like a party-ish song. I think, you know, there's a lot of students who are stuck in their halls at the moment who are just, you know, having parties with their like housemates because they can't do fuck all else.
Yeah.
And Too Much seems to be one of those songs that gets banned in that situation, which I think is quite cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's about it with that one. As far as like response goes, like, yeah, people seem to be enjoying it, which I'm really happy about. But it's like, yeah, people from further away, different people who aren't normally listening to my stuff or sharing it or whatever. So
yeah, I'm glad. And then obviously with Bulletproof Raincoats, has that like been expanded to different people as well, or do you feel like that was a bit more a close knitted?
Yeah, like not so much close knitted. Like it still had the opportunity to go to everyone that Too Much did, but because Too Much is that more like sort of pop grime, I guess. I guess pop grime is sort of what that would be. Or like kind of trappy or something, but like sort of like party rap, you know? Whereas Bulletproof Raincoats is much more like, you know, UK hip hop for UK hip hop's sake, or just hip hop in general, I suppose. But you know, the UK bit is sort of, the UK hip hop finds itself in its own smaller niche than regular hip hop does. You know, especially like UK underground alternative hip hop. It's like you're going down this little like this rabbit hole to obscure music genres, but people still fuck with it, which is really cool. You know, like my favourite thing is like when people like if they're reposting it or something and they quote a bar from it, like that means like out of that whole like 3.5 minutes or so, there was one part that's like really stuck with you, even if it's not like a deep, profound lyric that's, you know, someone's found really beautiful. It might be like there's a bar in that where it's like ice on both wrists, call me ambidextrous, which was just like a dumb bar to get a laugh, you know? And like people have been like either sending me that or like reposting it with that bar and then like laughing emojis, or, you know, like quoting bars and stuff, which I find really cool. Like it's more so than they've just listened to the song
and they've given it a share, that they've actually pointed something out from that they've enjoyed.
Something about it that they thought was sick.
Yeah,
or like
it's gone
whatever,
from that extra sort of like, instead of just sort of being like, you know, I like this song because.
Exactly.
It helped. I feel like you know, it's nice to have that little bit of extra of like why. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you like it? It's the same with like dislikes. Why? It's nice to know. It's that extra little bit of like insight to your people that are listening.
And then at the moment, because we can't do like proper shows, it's like if someone calls out a certain bar when they repost your song, that's like a 2020 wheel up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I was in the session and I got a wheel up, it's like, oh, I've just spit a hard bar. But when it's 2020 and you can't do shows, the way you know you spit a hard bar is if someone like drops you a message saying like that was hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also would like to sort of go back to maybe something that you sort of released a little bit earlier on.
Yeah.
My personal favourite is obviously Clothesline, which I come across when I was like listening to your music and things like that, and I just feel like that's really different. It's a lot different to the other stuff that you have. You know, that you've released and that you've done and things like that. I feel like it sort of hits maybe a bit of a personal note. Was it personal? Do you feel like...
Yeah, there was personal elements to it, definitely. Like most songs I do have personal parts and also metaphorical parts, you know? I like to play a game with the listener, and I don't know if the listener knows they're playing said game, but like some songs are about stuff and other songs aren't. But I don't like to let on which is which.
Yeah.
And then you know there might be a complete crud song, but 4 bars of that crud song is actually something heartfelt. But because it's hidden in 3.5 minutes of crud bars that are, you know, bars about getting laughs or whatever, or you know making people go, like you're not looking for some sort of really something meaningful in there, like. So I like to hide them in there sometimes, you know. So most songs have a little bit of meaning hidden somewhere, but with Clothesline, it was sort of. I'm trying to describe it in the best way, but you know, well, I mean, I'm just trying to keep my problems to a minimal. Dance in the rain, then I'll bathe when the river fall. Like it's all very much like taking your lot in life, but not sort of in a bad way of. This is my lot, I guess. More so like, I'm doing all right, you know?
Yeah.
That's sort of what it is. And it's sort of about how you, like, because it's put in the context of a relationship, but it might not necessarily be a relationship between 2 people in a loving relationship or whatever. It could be your relationship with your work ethic, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your home life, with
anything,
you know, with your substance of choice, you know, whatever it could be. It's like just your relationship with this blank canvas of a thing. But because, you know, that's to put it in the relationship metaphor, there's a lot of yous and I's and making it a me to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it mainly boils down to sort of just taking a minute to go, yeah, it's all right, you know.
So was you feeling a type of way when you wrote that, or did you just think, you know, this is what I'm missing with my music, this is what I want to bring in, or was you feeling a bit?
It sort of came about quite naturally, to be fair. I don't know, I didn't sort of sit there and think, I'm going to make a pop song, but then part of me just kind of wanted to make one, because I was, I mean, I still do, but at the time I was listening to a lot of like Lil Lotus, Lil Aaron, Smart Death. There's going to be a bunch I'm forgetting, but like obviously like Lil Peep and like the you know those sort of guys. But I could rattle off names for ages, but that whole sort of like emo revival 808 rock kind of thing, and I just really like it because there's like meaningful lyrics, trap beats, and like sort of nice vocal melodies that you find in pop, and like. Most of the stuff I listen to is not pop, so to break it from a minute, you know, it's for me the hard bars or blast beats and breakdowns. It's like I'm just gonna listen to some like it's quite good for a minute, you know. Yeah. You know, I'm known as a rapper. I do my rap thing, but I can fuck about and make a pop song if I want to.
Yeah. You want to show your your variety.
And like I say, I like a bit of pop music. I like a bit of most kinds of music, so I'll try my hands to make. Them.
Yeah.
I've been reaching out like slapping stickers on a road sign. Open bad omens like shoes on a phone line. Pull the scarf down to say it's gonna be a long night. Open up and take me down, I came with the clothesline. Clothesline, clothesline. Pull the scarf down to say it's gonna be a long night. Up to no good, looking for trouble with my phone line. Open up and take me down, I came with the clothesline.
You were talking about like your cred bars and things like that. Obviously, like what sort of like listening to some of your things, like they're really quite obscene sometimes, and like it's not a bad thing, but it's just like you really have an imagination that sort of like just runs for miles. It's like watching, you know, like a kid play with their toys. It's really weird. Like, it's the only way I can sort of like put it. It's just like, how are you sitting there and is these things that just come into your head all the time, or do you sit and think like, what can I do to like, what can I say to be out there?
Normally it's the first one. Sometimes I'll be like, what can I say that's going to be really weird right now? Like in a bar, like, but normally it's more so, like I won't realise something I've said is out of the ordinary until it's like pointed out.
Really?
Like, I guess, because like...
So you're normally like that then?
I guess, yeah. Stuck like this now. But yeah, like there's sort of a joke between Liu and I that like, Brain's talking then, because it's like me and Brain are two different people and Brain hands me the ideas. So yeah, like sometimes this stuff just sort of jumps in. Like Liu will be starting to make a beat and then I'll just out of nowhere, we'll be chatting away and I'm like... And he's like, oh, Brain's talking to you. It's like, yeah, dude, that's the thing. So, like, as for... Yeah, no, it's not like on a sort of, oh, what's the weirdest thing I could say right now to get a big reaction. That's not really the case. It's more so, yeah, that is just sort of how my head works, really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an example, but, like, yeah, I like to sort of rattle off a bit of a story, you know?
Another major factor, obviously, what I think is, like, eye-catching for a lot of people and sort of, like, leaves a lot of questions is like the way that you dress and your style of dressing. So what inspires that? Like, 'cause obviously, like we've got some like mad
some
orange,
going on.
like
Got patterns on patterns.
it's like very coordinated. You have like the orange with the grey, the black, and then you've got like the orange and the grey again.
I think like you can wear something outlandish, but if you pair it properly, it doesn't look outlandish anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not a big fan of them. But you know, like the like neon green, almost neon yellow Air Force Ones that came out that like Billie Eilish was modelling, or maybe not modelling, but seen in an awful lot and all that sort of stuff. Like I'm not a fan of that colourway or whatever, but like the a highlight a pen green Air Force One is a bit garish, but the way she paired it with the right stuff, it's not garish anymore.
Yeah, she had like the bright green strip, didn't she?
So it's sort of
like that.
It's one of those things. It's like these. If I was dressed for the office, you know, everything other than these, it's like fucking hell. But then when it matches with other stuff, it sort of takes away from it. But also like, I don't know, because I feel that having been, I'd say being through, but I often have tendencies to still be in the goth phase. Like I think doing that whole thing, I've sort of been used to looking a bit different. So it's not really a bother anymore.
No.
I sort of always look a bit different now. The way of dressing like that just sort of, I just thought it was cool. I liked the band logos with the illegible text and all the blood and guts on the t-shirts and, you know, just the big beefy breakdowns and stuff like that. And it just sort of sticks with you a bit.
Yeah.
But I got used to looking a bit outlandish and stuff. But yeah, it's not like how am I going to shock the world today? It's just that I think that stuff's cool, you know?
Yeah, with the second lockdown, you was like releasing things day after day after day, like it was just constant. So how do you keep up such a good work rate? Pop your head in.
That's Liu.
Pop your head in. bit more,
Hello.
bit more.
Hello. Yeah, he beats me if I don't write a 16 every hour.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, no, I've always wanted to be able to work and record a lot. I've always wanted to have my own stuff to record with, so that I can just pop round the corner and go to studio. And I've always wanted to be able to have a high work rate. But since working with Liu, it's just become possible. You know, I've learnt a lot off of him, and I'm gonna start being nice to you now. It's a bit weird, isn't it? But like I've learnt a lot off of him, and he's sort of bridged the gap between how I wanted to sound and how I do sound, and all of that sort of stuff. So, and then having the equipment to just record as much as I want, Like I've never been in a proper studio other than like once or twice.
But obviously being friends as well as like people that work together.
Oh,
Do you piss
completely,
each
yeah.
other off?
Huh?
Do you piss each other off?
He doesn't really get on my nerves much, but I can imagine I wind him up.
Pisses me off all the time.
I can imagine I do, yeah.
Nah, not really.
Do you live with him?
No.
No.
Nah.
You might as well,
No
though.
one bang him out. No, not even though. Like, it's just all blessed. Like,
We both like watching people fall off stuff, heavy metal, and
Watching
rap music.
people fall off stuff. Well, literally.
We have culture breaks in studio because we'll be in studio for like fucking days on end, and then we'll just be burnt out and need a break, and we'll watch like Unexpected Meme Compilation number 3064 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it would just have 8 minutes of watching people fall off stuff, and perfectly timed screams is a good bunch of videos as well. They're like compilations of people like. Yeah, it's brilliant. But we'll have like culture breaks. But yeah, no, there's not really been reason for a falling out just yet.
No.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
How did you meet?
Through Clayton, wasn't it?
Yeah, Clayton.
Yeah. That's guitarist of what was Homelands is going to be something else soon, I think. But yeah, I was going to be making a few songs with him because I think he was making a little hip hop project or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Liu happened to be there one day, and the rest is history.
He was like, "You're coming with me."
You are coming with me, yeah.
So obviously, like with your tracks, and obviously, like you don't just sort of like. I feel like you just don't follow like a one flow. Like you're just all over the place. It's good, but you're all over the place. How long does it take for you to write one of your tracks? Obviously, like you said that. Leo's like on your back, like if you don't write at 16. So like you're talking about these like 3-minute songs. How long does it take you to write that if you're banging them out every day?
It's different, but it really depends because like say the latest one I've written, the Hell for Leather one. We had some other rappers in a session that Liu was recording and producing for, and while he was making beats for them, I was just writing to them. Because like when we're in a session, when he's like doing their production and making their beats, I'll be there as like a backup, like an extra lyricist to be like, you slurred that word, or if you change those syllables, your bars will flow better. Like that's sort of my job in Studs if I'm not the one recording. But that they didn't need that because they were good at what they did. So yeah, while Liu was just making them beats, I was just writing to them. So by the time their session ended, I was like, I've got a song.
Just sort of like going back into your appearance. Obviously, like, there's a lot more to you than you're here to talk about your music and things like that.
Yeah, but it's a bit of everything now, isn't it? Like,
you had dreadlocks.
I did.
So where have they gone? What happened? Because you just took your hat off.
Yes, I did. I did have dreads at one point. They came about because... Wait, how did they come about, or where did they go?
Well, how they come about, or where have they gone?
Okay, where did he come from? Where did he go? I got them because I used to have a mohawk, and then I volunteered at this youth centre place because basically they had skate ramps, and when there weren't youth sessions on, they'd let me use the ramps. So, and then, basically most of the staff there were like, I wouldn't say similar to me because that's not common, but like we were all a bunch of weirdos essentially. And I was just on shift with someone. She was like, sit down, like sit down on the floor. Like say she was here, for example. She's like, sit down in front of me. Like, why? She's like, I'm gonna give you dreadlocks. Alright.
So you just did it.
And just off we went. And then so I had like this weird like just the top was dreads and the rest was like how it is now. And then I grew them out and got them dreaded as well. That was sort of the size of it for about at least a good 3 years, something like that. Just there already, this one's knotted here, and then this one's knotted here. Like I to be fair, I had one back here that was like started looking like an octopus because there was about like a bunch of dreads that were individual dreads, and then at the root they all fused together, so it was like that thick at the root, and then like 8 little dreads coming out. It was sick. Like
Where have they gone? Like what happened?
This is everything. Every stigma of dreadlocks is gonna come alive when I found a bug egg in them.
Oh no.
Yeah. So So I never. Well, I mean, it's not so bad now because I look after it now. I look after my hair now because, yeah, dreads sort of did me scalp a bit dirty, to be fair. But I like having dreads gave me dandruff, and there was a point I was driving back from a gig in Norwich as well, and any dreadlock people watching will know what the thing is.
Oh no!
But I was driving along,
Oh,
just having a little pick at my head, and I thought it was just a bit of loose, like dandruffy skin, which I was used to from the dreadlocks, and then it had like yolk in it, and it was just like, I'm gonna cut these out when I get home.
Oh.
Yeah.
So was it like nits?
I don't even know. It was just like, it was just yolk, like some sort of gooey substance. Like it wasn't ideal.
That's grim.
We've not got any more friends going on now then, in your hair? We've not got any...
No, I've got no more little fellas knocking about in my hair
my
now.
goodness.
No, my hair's... No, because I didn't even have to, like, say that the common, like, misconception is that when to get rid of dreads, you've got to shave your head off. Like,
Yeah,
but
what did you do?
just, like, because my roots had already grown out quite a bit, I could cut from the root and still have normal hair, and then just wash it with, like, proper shampoos for that kind of stuff, and cut them to the roots, and then brush it, and then go to the barbers and get them to shape it up, and I just had normal hair for a while. It wasn't until maybe about a year afterwards that I then thought, fuck it, I'm gonna be bald for a little while.
Yeah.
And that's because we were shooting the holiday video for Deep Trouble, and I
Yeah.
just thought it'd be cool for visuals for me to be having my head shaved in the video.
Yeah.
And then being bald was sort of an afterthought, but here I am over a year later and still haven't got a lot better.
Moving on, like your following has been really good. Obviously I see that you have a lot of people that follow your music, like you said earlier, a lot of people
Yeah, I've
sharing
been
your
quite
stuff,
lucky to
and
be fair with the support. It's been...
you're reaching new people. Have you had any negativity at all?
Negativity. It was obviously the white boy dreadlock jokes back when I had dreads. Like proper hateful negativity I really haven't experienced. You know, there's I'm sure it will come up in a moment. There's a certain rapper who doesn't like me very much, but he's never even said anything to my face. I've always heard, like, I found out he doesn't like me anymore through the grapevine. You know, I've not really had any to face, like, you're a shit MC, you should go fuck yourself. Like, that just...
Apart from the Tea House connection.
Oh shit, yeah. When I did the Tea House session. Oh, yeah, that was the only time, actually. Yeah, no, in the comment section, when I did a Tea House freestyle, there was some stuff on there. I can't even remember what it was, but yeah, there was some bits in there. But as for, like...
Do you get beef?
That was brutal,
I
mate.
think it was like you white.
Nah, it's brutal.
Who does this white boy rapper think he is?
Literally,
Acting like...
you know the we was watching...
They were
shout
awful.
out Paps. We was watching the Paps vlog the other day for
Yeah.
when he was behind the scenes shooting you and Blitz's music video for that day, when I then shot the thing on, like, at the same time. And yeah, like, there was the part where I forgot my bars and that. But that video that they were shooting then, that's the one that's got, like, I was getting dicked on. Oh no, there was one where someone said about, like, because, and, like, I can see where they're coming from, but, like, grow up. Because, because, like, in those bars, I say the word laundromat. I can't even remember what the bar is because it was probably not very good, but, or at least, I don't know, it might be alright, but still. I can't remember what the bar is, but the rhyming word was laundromat. And someone was like, someone tell this American gangster rapper wannabe that they're called laundrettes over here. And it's like, yeah, but laundrette didn't fucking rhyme.
Yeah.
Bro, like, yeah. It's like, what do you want from me? Like, yeah, like... But yeah, that was that one stuck out in my memory.
Yeah.
For that
I think
reason,
everybody's
but...
had a bit of stick on there at the end.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Honestly, they're absolutely awful. I just
famous for it, bro.
it's just like obviously like when Tea House used to upload their things, I literally used to sit there and count down the minutes before, and it was just almost like whoever it was that stupidly pathetic that they had their notification bells on ready for like any upload to be like bang, let's get the comments on. There was like 5 of them at a time.
Literally.
So whether it was just some little twat behind the computer,
it's just him and his mates all sat in the room.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
We get one reoccurring dislike and we know who's doing it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Bring in that
Matt.
paper.
How you getting on?
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think that, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll always say it. You don't have to like everybody's stuff.
No, you don't.
You probably don't like some of the stuff A1 does. He probably don't like some of the stuff.
I do.
Everyone, do you know what I mean? But
Everyone's made a song.
there's a
that they
level
make
of
something that's
disliking
hard,
and liking, but there's a level of respect.
Oh, of course.
And
yeah.
that's where I think there's a fine line. You
But
don't
then,
have to like everybody's stuff, but you don't have to be fucking horrible.
Yeah, but
And
then
I don't
also
like that.
there is the thing of like, if you put something online, you've got to be prepared for that, you know?
Oh, of course you
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's nasty and it's not nice, but also, like, we fully knew.
Well, I think it was definitely somebody personal. I mean, I don't want to go on about it too much because what's the point? I think it's definitely something personal, and the reason why I say that is there's a certain artist, I'm just going to say, Wilski, has just uploaded a new music video, and in that he has the use of a house that's not his, obviously, a car that's not his, obviously, all of these different things that are not his. I've not seen one comment about these garms not being his, right?
Yeah.
However, A1 did Wave as the
Yeah.
music video.
And
it was my friend's car that was involved in that. I was in that video, blah, blah, blah. That's
And I
not
was
your
like,
wig.
your wig,
That's
blah,
not
blah,
this.
blah,
That's
blah,
not that.
yeah.
Well, obviously fucking not, mate. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Because if it was, I probably wouldn't be filming it in Lynn. Like, you know, all of these different things that,
exactly.
like, you know, and I just think some people are just so stupid. Like,
Yeah, man.
it does,
No, I
it
do
does
agree.
anger me. It really pisses me off because it's just like, you fucking do it. I'd like to see you do something.
Yeah,
You know,
completely.
yeah,
So it's
I
one of
just
those
think it
things,
was
people will poke fun, but they won't actually step up and
It's just jealousy.
do a better
It's
version.
jealous, yeah. Like, and whilst you're sitting there tapping away on your keyboard, we're writing another 3 tracks. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
fuck
Because
yourself.
then even if the person they're hating on isn't that great yet, because it's their early days or whatever, like, whoever's watching this, whoever your favourite MC is, whoever your favourite band is, whoever your favourite singer is, whoever your favourite visual artist is, whoever your favourite director is, they made a bunch of shit before you knew who they were.
Yeah.
And like, if you're coming from the same ends as someone and you know them personally, or you know them because they're mates with your mates, or they're mates with people you don't like, you're going to know who they are before they're popping, which also almost by default means that you're going to know them while they're doing lower quality material.
Yeah.
You know?
Talking about you, obviously you were saying earlier about how you was like doing your skateboarding and things like that.
Yeah.
Do you still skateboard?
I don't as of yet, but I will do. My foot's still healing from when I broke it. But I will skate again.
Yeah.
And all that, but I haven't yet. I've popped a few ollies and I've done a few pushes and that since I broke it. But as for like actually going out and having a session or like skateboarding to get from like A to B, it's just not happened yet. You know, It's just still not quite there. But it will do. It will. Like, it fucking will.
Where do you think, or what age do you think you're gonna be? What do you think is gonna be for you that stands out and goes, right? Do you know what? Nothing's happening for me here. I'm gonna go and get a 9-to-5 job. What is gonna tick for you?
Ooh.
For that to be like,
To
because
be
that's
like-
a big choice.
to be like,
to come
put
to
up
a
that-
point to be like, do you
Put
know
up the
what?
white flag. We had a good run, lads. Let's call it a
I
day.
tried. It was
Like,
fun. I now need to get a job.
Yeah.
Like, when's that gonna tick? Because obviously at the minute I feel like you've got, you know, you're riding the waves. It's
I
good.
reckon when I have a Joe Budden attitude, you know, like when I'm like, no, this is how rap was in my day. All these kids are shit. None of them have respect, even though I've got no respect for anyone, but none of them have respect. None of them have done their homework. Yeah, it's the Joe Budden attitude, not to like specifically aim it on Joe Budden, but the typical hater old head attitude. Like, once I see myself acting in that manner, it's like, right, I'm too old for this, you know? Like, that I think would be it. Other than like, I don't know, trying to make it as a musician to pay the bills and the house has been repossessed and I've got no car and I'm living in a box. Maybe then it's like, okay.
Do you know, like, it's just kind of like put something
Yeah.
in my head. Have you ever seen The School of Rock?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
teacher.
yeah, literally.
Yeah,
would
like
be
you're
the thing.
literally, you're like
But-
you're sofa surfing, you have no money, you're a sweaty bastard,
Yeah.
and you're still trying to make music work, and it's just not
Pretty
happening for you. Like,
Yeah, or say like, at the moment I sort of make the joke of saying like, I've embraced the fact I'm either going to make it or be homeless, which is sort of the joke, but then also like it's probably not true, like, you know, but I can't think of anything that would happen to make me stop pursuing music at the moment.
Do you want to be on TV? Is that what you want?
I ideally would like to be able to make a living off music, but still be able to walk down the street without like crazy paparazzi nonsense. Like for me, that would be absolutely ideal. To be able to have like opportunities to work with artists or brands or venues or charities that I want to work with and have the level of clout to do so, but also that like if I was to, you know.
You want to pop to Morrison's to
Yeah.
get your daily lunch
Maybe,
or like
maybe
whatever.
bump into someone and take a quick picture, but not bump into 50 people. You know, not be that level. But then also, if that level ends up happening, I'll sleep in the bed I've made. You know, like
Do
that's.
you think you could handle it?
We'll see. You know, the thing is, like, if I could handle my emotions responsibly, or if I could handle the adult world responsibly, my music would be proper dull. You know, I think that's the case for most artists, is that like they're a bit unaccustomed to how the black and white world works, as opposed to the colourful, artsy world we create for ourselves. But other than that, like, I honestly don't know. I mean, I don't think I could really tell you until I'm there, you know, because there'd be the great parts and there'd be the awful parts. Like say, like not being able to just, from wherever I have been in the world, like pull up back in Downham and see me mum and, you know, or see me parents and then go out to like the Chinese with my grandparents or whatever. Like when those things don't become possible, it would probably really bug me, you know, like.
And it could just happen overnight as well.
It could.
It really could just happen.
Yeah,
and then
but
you've
also
just...
I would be unable to relax in that social setting because of having achieved something really great. You know, so it's hard to toss it up really. But say I would aim for like the sort of Lee Scott level of like his fans like Leesus is the man, you know. But then he could walk past, like, to be fair, like, he could walk past, like, your neighbours and they wouldn't know that's Lee Scott, you know? But then if I accidentally go to, like, H or, like, Post Malone or Stormzy level, then, as I say, it's a bed I've made and I better get comfy, you know?
It's funny you mentioned Post Malone because I was looking through your old Instagram posts and I found a cover of you singing I Fall Apart. So, do you still play guitar and do you still enjoy doing the rockish side of things and doing covers of other people's music?
I still enjoy playing guitar. I'm no bloody good at it, but I enjoy playing guitar. I played guitar first. That was the first sort of musical thing I did. But then I started like writing lyrics to sing to guitar. And then I just slowly transitioned to writing rap lyrics, and then more quickly than with guitar, progressed in rapping. So I then started like playing to my strengths a bit essentially, and then just not practicing when I should have done. But like the rap thing just sort of took over because, I mean, yeah, it was very much playing to my strengths because I was better at that than I was at that. But I'd say I still enjoy guitar, I'm just not much good at it. But I've not learnt a cover song in a while. I think the last one I learned was during the first lockdown because everyone got back in touch with their old hobbies during the first lockdown. And it was a Frank Turner song, because I love Frank Turner. And I can't think, it was off the Positive Songs for Negative People album, off the acoustic B-side. And it's oddly specific for a song I can't remember. But yeah, it's I bet it's going to come to my head like halfway through a question later on.
And then you'll be like,
I'm
oh, that was it.
song at you. But yeah, it was a Frank Turner song I learned. It was earlier this year, but I don't play guitar as much as I would say as much as I wish to, but as much as I should. You know, it's no one's fault but mine that I don't touch it often. I do still play, but again, not as often as I should.
Yeah. With the Illuminati, right, if somebody was to come to you and say, look, overnight you are going to be as big as Post Malone and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, but you have to do this, would you do it?
Depends on what the this is, in a lot of honesty. you know, you can be that big, but you've got to do this. It really depends on that thing they're asking me to do, you know.
I mean, I
If
know it's crazy, but I have in my head who I know would sign that paper. You wouldn't even have to explain what the
Yeah.
if would be. They would just be like, yeah, give me that pen. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So if there is anything out there like that, I mean, do you think you would?
It really depends on what the thing they'd be asking me to do is, because like I was saying to you before about Clothesline, like I consider that a pop song. Whatever the form the big break takes was like, we want you to make more songs like Clothesline, and we're going to do what we can to get you popping. You and I would have a bit of a chat, and most likely be like, yeah, let's make some emo pop trap. Let's fuck about with it, because I enjoy that music. It's not what I sound like now, but I do enjoy making it, and it is fun to play, and it's fun to write, and it's music I like. If someone was like I can't think of a type of music I despise enough for that to be the example, you know? But like if they gave me a pre-made album, they're like, yeah, we're going to slap your name on this, I wouldn't be okay with that.
So we're going to do a bit of a quiz, just to sort of like lighten up all the serious chat and deep conversations and things like that. You ready?
Let's do it.
What's my YouTube channel name?
Karma Talks.
Warning, don't try this. My flow's cold, it's on mine, it's a lyrics by here.
A1.
What's Papa's real name?
Liam.
You could make an EP with any other local artist, who would it be and why?
At the moment, Bill, because he's sick and doesn't believe in himself enough, and he's my favourite MC in the area, Bill Freeman.
We have a question here. It was really interesting. Ask him what his beef with knighthood is.
Yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned something about Matt earlier on.
Yeah, that was just a bit of a joke, like, you know. I mean, it's true, but it's...
So, what is it?
He was annoyed because I didn't credit him on early work, being Luck and Black Magic. When, like, on the back of the CD, I'm positive there's a knighthood logo on the back of the CD. I might be wrong, I've not looked at one in a while. But it doesn't say, like, you know, hands up, admitting to it. It doesn't say, like, 5 out of the 7 tracks were beats by Double D of Knighthood. Like, it's not on there. Hands up, it's not on there. Like, but I'm certain that there is a KHUK on the cover, which to me, that's the credit, you know? But also, I was young and making these mistakes. That's not a cop-out. I'm, say, putting my hands up too. I probably should have done more to, you know, credit him.
Yeah.
But then when those songs got re-released with music videos or whatever, it was always in the beat, not in the beat, in the description, like, produced by, I think for elevator music and like Blacked Out and that, it was like produced by Scobes and Double D, because on Blacked Out he made the beat and Scobes recorded me, and on elevator music Scobes made the beat. I think Double D might have made a few tweaks or something and maybe tracked me or something, but like in some areas he was credited, but in other areas he wasn't. And yeah, I'll put my hands up to that. But also, it's 5 beats on a guy's first mixtape, and your crew's name is on the front of it. Like, I admit my fault, but also when that came out about 3 years ago, maybe more, maybe less, and I was like just 19 when it dropped, 18 when I was working on it. Like, I think they're all fairly understandable mistakes, you know? For him to still have beef with me all this time later, I think is a bit silly, to be honest. Because, I mean, yeah, I don't have beef with him. I think that he's very condescending and very rude and won't listen to good reason, you know? Like, he always seemed to little bro me and sort of try to be, like you said, be the one that always shines the brightest in the room. And it just grated after a while, you know? But yeah, I don't
How was it working in the studio with him?
It was so long ago, man, I can barely tell you, but he was well on, like, the G-rap thing, like, proper gangstery stuff, which...
Is he a gangster?
No. Not,
Does he bang guns?
Not in the slightest, you know, like... No, not in the slightest. He has a toy Thor's hammer that he holds onto that makes him feel
Do you reckon
powerful.
he smashes that over people's heads?
If he can catch
Jokes around, innit? Yeah. But like...
But... Yeah.
You know, does he fucking dip people out in the streets? Do you know what I mean?
Not
like,
at all, not in the slightest. And the music was all very G focused like that. Not that that's a problem. It's just not something I It's not what I do.
just
It's not
don't
how I live.
like. It's just
But-
one of these things, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
I was very much made to, as much as I was the younger, I was very much reminded I was the younger around.
You go in
people.
there, and it's the alpha
know?
male thing. You go in there,
Yeah.
you're hanging around with elders, and that's fine.
Silly
So you
alpha
respect
male
them,
nonsense.
but it's like
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, if I'm such a kid, then why are you
Why-
hanging around with me?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I'm used to being the younger one in a group of mates. That's just always the way, like quite often the way it's ended up being. So that it wasn't that like it was my first time hanging out with the older kids and I felt belittled or whatever. That wasn't the case at all. Like I was made to be aware that I was the younger, and it was.
You're gonna sit down and listen because
Yeah,
this is how it's going.
in honesty,
sort of
I
thing.
didn't need to listen to him.
No.
I was wrapping circles around him at 18 years of age.
Yeah.
Like, and that's not even trying. I don't. Like
I
the
mean,
big
no,
headed
it's
thing,
not. It's
but,
not.
like,
It's being honest and it's being truthful, and someone's got to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's got to. You know, if that's how you feel, then that's
Yeah,
fair enough.
Exactly.
You know,
so,
and
like,
if he wants to have an interview, I'll give him his chance to talk. There was a comment that was made, and it was about Leo as well. It doesn't. It's got
He said-
massive vendetta against him.
he said that our music sounded too clean as well.
Too
which
clean.
thought
I mean,
was really
like,
funny.
yeah, he
It's-
said that about Tidal. I'm sure. Like,
It's too
it's
well
too
made.
clean. It's too crisp.
good.
How the fuck can be? How can
It's
something
too
be
good.
too well made?
You can overproduce a song, but that's not what the case is here. Like,
No.
no. The only reason he feels excluded is because he's excluded himself.
Mm.
Like, the only reason I stopped spending time with him is because I don't think he's a very nice bloke and I don't like hanging out with him. So why would I work with people who I don't think are nice and wouldn't hang out with? You know? The more that he's had that effect on people, the less people have wanted to associate.
With him.
Yeah, so the only reason he's been excluded in the scene is because he's sort of excluded himself. And as I say, the thing is, if I got a message from matey tomorrow and he was like, not on some big apology shit, but like, do you want to shoot the breeze, dude? Be like, yeah, go on then, let's put this to bed, let's see what the thing is.
Mm.
But, you know, I'd quite happily go and have a chat with him, see what's up, you know, shake hands or fist bump at the end or whatever and be like, okay, we're still not going to be best mates, but this beef is squashed. But as I say, I don't feel a beef. If he's got beef with me, that's lovely. I'm happy for you. But I don't have beef with him.
No.
You know, like
Yeah.
yeah.
And I just think sometimes it's just so annoying as well because you actually don't know, like. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling, isn't it? I think like
It is
sometimes
bizarre.
because it's like you
To
probably
be like,
don't
oh,
lose
yeah, they
sleep
don't like
over
me.
it, but it's like
Mm.
it's like
But
why?
I'd be interested to know if it's still the credit thing, because for 5 songs that came out, as I say, maybe 3 years ago, something like that. Like, it seems like the dislike is too large for it to just be that. And there was another member of Knighthood that said that Bill's going off to ride Barker's dick. I just
don't
What the
understand.
fuck is he on about?
Didn't hear me screaming about it.
No.
Literally, like, man's riding his own dick and then being upset because we're not asking for a go.
I just think, you know, and I've heard things as well about like a sense of control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like re-recording. I mean, like, I understand that there may be technical difficulties. There may be things where, like we were saying earlier, you don't feel like it sounds as good as you could possibly have given, and you know, Lee's there to help you and guide you and tell you actually do that again. But imagine having a whole track recorded and then it just never coming out, and then you're having to go back like months later to go back and record that. Like, I just don't understand, like, where did it go? I mean, fair enough, like, I'm over here deleting hours worth of interviews, but like, I own that shit straight away and I admit it. Whereas like, people aren't even getting an explanation to where their fucking music's gone.
Yeah, completely.
And I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, I don't understand it. Say, even when I was working with the Knighthood guys, well, I wasn't working with them, I was like, they had the dojo sessions every Wednesday that I would go around, because at that point, being as new to it as I was like, fuck it, it's more people to go around and write bars with.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
the local scene culture thing, like, it was people to engage in that with, but I just slowly became...
You clocked on like a meanie and you was like, I'm not being a part of that.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a part of their crew. I was happy to hang out with them for a little while. I was happy to hang out with them, but just didn't want to be a part of a group with them. But then me and Bill just ended up getting on really well, both like as musicians. We had sort of what I want to do and what he wants to do, as much as they're quite far different. They're in the same world, at least a little bit closer between myself and Matt or Bill and Matt or whatever. Like, we just gel musically pretty well, and he's a good mate of mine. He's a top boy. Like, he's a good bloke. We just got on well as mates better than I did with the other members also.
And that's fine,
but that's
because
not...
you always have someone you gel with more.
Yeah, exactly, and it was, yeah. And I like Roman as well. Roman is a good producer and a nice guy, so hold tight, Roman. I don't mean any disrespect to you in all this. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, but fair enough. Obviously as well, like, I know that like, obviously Matt's brother, like Rich, like he does music as well. So do you feel the same vibes from him? Like, is it in their blood or like?
Rich always seemed really nice as a bloke,
Yeah.
but then through the grapevine, he was the one that was talking about Bill riding my dick and stuff, is what I hear. So, I don't know, or yeah, I'm not bothered.
You don't know and you don't care.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just interesting because it's just kind of like, you know.
And they when I put on Fifthmas last year, they both showed up and were all smiles and talking to me and all this sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they were probably talking to me like behind their back or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you've still come to my show, paid to be there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they were featuring on a Tea House song, which right.
Smoke all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Actually, yeah. To be fair, that I've not got beef with them, but that's one thing that I did find a Mickey take, right? I would put, when I was putting events on, when we were allowed to do events, I'd put on Tea House, and because they're nice guys and the Knighthood guys were featuring on one of their songs, they would come to the show and they would come through and feature on the songs, yeah. But then they wouldn't let go of the fucking mic, and it wasn't your booking. If I thought you were good enough for a booking, I'd have booked you. Do your feature and fuck off. Don't come to my shows again.
Yeah. So
there you go, there's a bit of beef for you.
Like,
there's something to get your
like,
teeth into.
What, so they'd like take over?
Yeah,
like your show?
Yeah, like it wasn't my set, it'd be the Tea House set, but they would do their bit for Smoke All That and then try and blag another song out of it or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, it's cool, you do your thing, but like, I mean, no one was impressed, you know, like, the audience and to think of Fifthmas as well, the main like things that were bringing an audience were myself with Deep Trouble and Solo and Eluders. Those were the main groups that were like bringing the audience, and none of them are impressed by fake G shit in, you know, sideways caps and basketball jerseys and people weren't after that, you know?
No.
If you're gonna take the mic and command being the big man at a gig, you've got to read the room and then do it when the room's loving you. When the room's waiting for your set to end so Eluders can come on, don't then take the mic and go for 20 minutes. You know, it's just like, have some common sense in it. Matt Tice has become the Joe Budden, you know, that the Joe Budden mentality I was talking about earlier. That's what he's done. Yeah, that's the thing when I said, if I saw myself acting like that, I would escort myself out of the scene. That's how he behaves.
Obviously, as time's gone on and we've sort of like come to know Sleepscousin, and we've got this sort of like, not different, but evolved artist.
Yeah.
What is the noise about that you make? And how and why do you do it?
I don't know, it really it came about quite naturally. It's one of those, like, now that I've actually thought about it and I put it in tracks or in like sets or whatever, it's one of those things now where it's like, when you hear that, you know that it's me. Like, you know, DW, biddy bop bop, dirty tea, it's me, like, you know it's DWE. Like, you know, he can hold the mic at a cypher and go biddy bop bop and get a wheel up straight away.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to, like, when I'm 10 years, 15 years into the game, whatever, grab a mic at a session and go,
Yeah.
like, you know that it's me, especially if it's followed by Eureka. Like, I don't know, now that I've put thought into it, I like it just being that trademark thing. When you hear that, you know it's me.
We mentioned a little bit about Wilski. And I don't know if you watched his interview that has been out for, well, by the time yours out, that will be 2 weeks. And did you watch it?
I saw a bit of it, I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay. He had a lot to say about you.
About me, particularly?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Positive.
I should probably check that. Oh, okay, nice one. I wasn't expecting positive for some reason.
Very, very, very positive.
Pick up yourself. Okay, nice one.
I have to give him credit. He didn't hold back to say what he wanted to say.
Yeah.
He said what he wanted to say in positive ways, and I feel like he is really, you're inspiring him. in a lot of ways.
I appreciate that. I had
He
no
said
idea.
that
I thought he really didn't like my shit and like thought I was shit and whatever.
He thinks
Okay,
that you're very
yeah.
real, that you follow what you want to do, you dress the way that you want to, despite what other people are doing. He also said that if there could be any way in the world where you two could possibly even be remotely on a track together, that he'd like that to happen. Now, listening to that, do you think that that is from the heart, or do you think he's looking at you and your followers and what you can do and the publicity of the town and surrounding areas that you get, and do you think he's trying to jump on that?
I don't know. I don't think there's much of a Sleepscousin gravy train to hop on. Maybe I'm wrong, but like.
I mean, I do.
I appreciate that. I do.
I
but,
do, and I think perhaps you. I don't want to take anything away from anyone else, but perhaps you more than others at the minute.
I appreciate that.
And I
Thank
feel
you.
like maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I'm not trying
to. Like, well, I mean,
discredit.
say this is one of those things. So I don't like sound like I'm talking myself up, but like I'm aware that there are people that see me as like the boy for the scene at the moment. You know, like, you know, K-Town's kid or whatever. Like, I am aware of it, that people sort of I'm that guy as far as the EA rap scene is to some people.
Yeah.
But as far for like, I don't think if we were to make some sort of project together that his following would get boosted. Like, maybe it would. Maybe I'm completely delusional and my following's popping and I just have a poor self-perception. Maybe that's the case. But yeah, no, I don't. I also don't know him well enough as a bloke to say whether that's some sort of grab to get some sort of attention or whatever. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know him well enough as a bloke. The only, like, say, I know there's people that have beef with him or whatever. Like, I think it's a bit strange that he didn't get involved with the scene more, and that we weren't seeing him about in these places and like. Because he's been doing it for a while. He might not have as much out as myself or other people or whatever. And I understand he relocated for uni or
He's
work
still
or
there.
something.
He's still
But like,
there.
yeah, there was like, in an honest opinion, there was a scene there he could have got involved with and didn't. But also, I don't dislike the guy. I don't have any beef towards him. I don't have any reason to not like him, other than thus far, I'm not the biggest fan of his music.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's not that his music is shit or objectively bad. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
he did make a point of saying that when it comes, and it's not your fault, but when it comes to people promoting other people's music around here, he's never promoted.
no, but when was the last time he promoted any of us?
Yeah. Well, he seems to think
That
he
came
did.
out really snarky, but you get what I mean.
I did ask him that, and he does seem to have it that he did promote some of A1's, and he did promote yours as when you were Barker back then. That's in that interview. He does say that he did.
I'm not saying he didn't. I just don't remember it.
But
yeah,
I get what you mean. I think it's just one of those like things where it's
but
like.
then also being part of a scene is more so than sharing someone's song. You know, these people are my friends. And then even the people that I don't know super well personally or whatever, like, we are actively in a scene together. It's not like we just sort of share our content when it comes out. Like, we'll be in studio together even if we're not on the song together, just to be involved in, just to have our ear to the ground on what's happening in the local scene at the moment, you know? I don't know the fella well enough to have a positive or negative opinion, you know? His music isn't, for me personally, his lyrics, like, I don't know, there seems to, like, when you said about he says that he enjoys how I very much do my own thing and finds that cool.
I feel like he's inspired by you because he's kind of.
Yeah, I didn't want to use the I word, but you know what I mean? Yeah, like, if he gets that inspiration, that's awesome. But like, I don't see a man doing his own thing just yet. Like, yeah, I feel that whatever his secret sauce is, he's yet to get it out the packet. You know, like.
I feel like he needs to realise, mate, the scene isn't schooled. Does that make sense? Once
Yeah,
you realise something's
there is
not
no right and
schooled,
wrong of
do
how
you
to
now,
how to rapper.
He
You know,
believes
it
now
doesn't-
because he's taken this step from vlogging, mate, to music
Yeah.
and uni. He believes uni's the one that's teaching him this industry and gonna
Yeah,
do it.
like
It's not,
he can hold
it
the
helps,
flow
man.
well. Like, you know, some people couldn't do the things to his level that he does, you know. But then also there are lyrics that just don't make sense very much, or are just talking about a life that he doesn't live, and that stuff I don't respect as much. But then also, like, everyone can improve. We're always improving. You know, the second you stop
When
trying
you
to
say
improve
like when
what
you're
you're
like
doing.
living a life that he doesn't like live, when you write your bars and like they're like, you know, I think there was like, oh, I'm not gonna get it right, because
No,
you're
that's
just like
fine.
you're just crazy. But it's like like get your mum's like your mum's tits in
Put
a
your mum's
fucking
titties in a
headlock
headlock.
or something.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not necessarily that. Like,
No,
it's
it's
just
like-
like you have a lot of these sort of things, and it's like, well, how do you get away with talking that?
It's comic book
Because you're not
violence is
sitting
the way
there.
up.
Because you're not sitting
Yeah.
there saying, I'm gonna shoot somebody, I'm gonna dip someone, I'm gonna do this,
Yeah.
and then because you're not sitting there being like, I'm gonna fly my girl out to Dubai and I'm gonna bang
Yeah.
her on the table, like, or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Why is that okay for you to do what you do? Because it's not. Because it's not that.
Yeah.
Why is it? How do you get away with that?
Because I feel that when if like violence was the example, like I'm not a violent person, you know. If violence was the example, then like it's sort of comic book violence. If violence is in my songs, it's quite comical. I'm now trying to think of a violent reference in my songs, and I can't. I'm sure there is one. There's got to be. It's rap music, you know. There's got to be violent references, but like, when I do talk about violence, it's comic book violence that you know isn't true, and it's more about the wordplay or the visual of it, you know. Like, if I was to talk about some sort of violence, you can imagine the kapow written in the big letters and stuff. Like, I'm not talking about drillings like I do drillings, you know, or yeah, I feel that there's a level. I mean, everyone's always going to fabricate a little bit of something to write about. Because if I only ever wrote the stuff that I did, you'd have a whole lot of bars about driving to college, driving to work, and being tired.
So do you feel
But,
like
like,
that's all they're doing?
What's
Just
that?
trying to like make their music a bit more interesting? Do you feel like if he was to
Potentially.
write about the days where he just gets up and gets dressed and goes to uni, that would also be boring?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm
because-
saying?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
I
saying
do.
that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that, like, you know,
One's
it's not
better
fair.
than the
But
other.
I'm just,
yeah, no,
I'm
I
just
completely
saying,
understand what
like,
you mean. But the thing
it's
is,
not always the right thing to do. But at the same time,
One
I
of-
kind of get it.
but then it's, to me, it doesn't. But all I can go off is me personally. But it doesn't interest me personally. Like, I don't enjoy like the really cool boastful rap, or like the, let's say I'll fly my bitch out to Dubai and fuck her on this Versace.
But I don't.
pool
That's not
table.
what he said.
No,
but
I
like,
know, but like that
that
is
kind
the,
of
very
thing,
much
you
the
know,
picture,
is
yeah.
is that
But
kind of.
I'm
You
He's
get,
trying to be a gallist, isn't he?
Huh?
He's trying to be a gallist. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's not trying to aim for male fans as much. I believe his fans side
Yeah,
is more
completely. But
But it's strange
I just
because I feel
that,
like he's got a lot
I
of
feel that-
male.
I feel that if you're to do that, do it in an original way.
Yeah.
Because there's so much rap. Like, I sort of had a blip time with rap myself, because it was like, how many times can I say I'm going to outbar you at the cypher, smoke more weed than you, and leave the cypher with your girlfriend and make it actually interesting? And that's what I hear a lot of these times over. I've got this, I took her from you, and I've got more of this than you have, and I can do this better than you can. It's like, that's great, but give me some substance.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I really
Yeah.
like the
There's
track
no
that
right
you
and
did.
wrong answer. That's
The track
but-
that you did with A1, Broken Transmission, DMT. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
It's Broken Transmission on the album, isn't it? I think DMT was the
secret
file
name.
name.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, either or.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the idea of what that stuff does to you.
Yeah.
I just like, it was so refreshing.
Yeah, but say
For
that's
me,
a good example.
But
to be
not
fair,
not
that-
so much for you, because that's the sort of vibe you're on anyway.
Yeah.
But with A1, it was like, because, you know, no disrespect, but it is like I'm the best MC. I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm harder with my bars than you. I'm gonna spin you. I'm gonna do this. I've got a fresh girlfriend. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
But
completely.
actually, hang on a minute. My nan's playing Twister. Someone's cooking up my mum, and like someone's doing this and someone's doing that. And, like, it's not true.
No,
but you could
that's
close
what
your
I-
eyes and be on some mad
That's
trip.
the best way
like,
to put. Yeah, when I was saying
and it's
about that
interesting.
comic book violence,
Yeah.
that like, you know, that didn't happen. but
And everyone's gonna laugh with it, mate.
yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
There's a level of like telling something not true like it's true, and telling something not true like it's a story.
Yeah.
And that's
I think that's what you pull off very well.
I think that
yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you, but I think
Yeah.
that's the defining factor of it.
What have we got to look forward to? Obviously now lockdown's over.
Yeah.
Does that mean?
While I was holding out hope that we'd be in tier 1, I was looking at how to put on shows, and it would have been like, say the venue was 100 capacity, we could put on 2 nights in a row to 50 people, stuff like that. But because we're in tier 2 at the moment, the live thing is still fuckeries, unfortunately. As soon as it is possible, we will be there. All of us will be there. This is the grand announcement that for the first time I'm now telling you, on the 27th of December this year, South of the Winter, Sleeps in Liu is out on all streaming services. That's our new EP. We've got a little 3-track number for you before we knock 'em fucking dead with the album next year.
Nice.
But yeah, so 27th of December, South of the Winter EP, Sleepscousin in Liu, and then there's that other song coming out a week before, isn't there? That's not got a name yet, but there'll be a song a week before that as well. Yeah, we're always working on something. You know, whenever Liu comes to stay with me, it will be for at least a week, and we'll knock out fucking loads of work. So, and just a hell of a lot of grilled meats, guffs and boy stuff. So if you want to see that on Instagram stories, you best follow the both of us.
Nice.
And Karma Talks on Instagram and Twitter.
Thank you.
And Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter,
Yeah,
so it's
fuck
just
Twitter.
Instagram
But
for now.
yeah, just
fuck Twitter.
Karma Talks on Instagram and YouTube,
And-
of course.
and
That's where we are
YouTube, yeah.
right now. Subscribe,
Of
like,
course.
even dislike, because that still boosts the analytics up.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
Yeah.
Probably don't.
Probably don't, but
Whatever. We
we
move,
prefer
don't
like,
we?
but yeah.
We move.
it's all analytics.
But yeah, so it's interesting, and I'm glad to see that you've got some more stuff coming out as well to sort of like go out end the year with a bang.
Exactly, yeah.
So no, that's great. So thank you for coming to speak to
Thank
me.
you for having us.
Um,
If you made it this far in the video, put a fuck 'em in the comments.
Thank you very much for coming through. I
No problems.
appreciate it, and I can't wait to catch up with you again.
Yeah, we'll see you